Hello and welcome to the fourth part of my series about getting started with LEGO 12-volt trains. If you haven't watched the first three parts of this series, I highly recommend that you watch them because they include important information about buying and running your first 12-volt train. This part will detail the supplemental electric accessories and freight loading depots plus stations, but not the supplemental wagons. And at the end there will be some recommendations of what to purchase, assuming you already have a 12-volt train running already. Like the second part of the series, I'll be giving a quick overview of each set, the price of a set in good use condition, and my personal opinion on it. I will go in the order of release year and then set number. I won't be reviewing any 4.5 volt rail sets, which are 7850 through 7853, or the basic 12 volt rail sets, which are 7854 and 7855. This video assumes that you have a train, a transformer, and a good amount of basic 12 volt curves and straights, and you are looking to expand your layout. Let's get right into the set descriptions. The first set on the list is released in 1980 and is the creatively named 7822 Railway Station. This set is a large station with platforms on both sides of the track. It's about 3 track segments long and one side of the platform has a small covered area. There's also a bridge over the track at one end of the station. The set sells for around $100. I would recommend this if you bought a passenger train since it will add a lot to your layout. There was also a small level crossing released in 1980 and that was the 7834 level crossing manual. This set had a level crossing with 12 volt tracks and a standard road base plate with a small shack. It typically sells for around $50. This is a great option if you can't afford the 7866 since a level crossing is a solid addition to any layout. The 7856 left and right manual points with electric rails is a fair addition to any 12 volt layout, no matter the size. If you don't want to shell out for automatic points, this is a good budget option, especially since it includes a left and a right point. The set sells for around $20 in good use condition. I would recommend getting one or two of these sets if you choose not to buy the remote controlled points or already have at least one copy of 7863 to upgrade the points to remote controlled. Also released in 1980, the 7857 Crossing Electric Rails Gray 12 volt is an interesting track expansion set that allows you to create specialized layouts such as figure eights, or you can have an intersection between two completely different tracks, two electrically separate tracks. This set, the crossing is one straight rail long in each direction, and the underside of it has pieces which isolate both sides so they don't have to connect electrically unless you make a reversing loop on itself. The set usually sells for around $5. It's a very simple set, and like the 7856, it's a solid addition to any layout and you should get at least one of them. The 7858 remote controlled points right 12 volt and 7859 remote controlled left 12 volt are two sets which each include a single point and the parts to upgrade it to automatic. Both sets sells for around $40 in solid condition. The remote controlled capabilities of the points is one of the reasons why many fans regard 12 volt as the golden age of LEGO trains, and I would very highly recommend purchasing a pair of points to upgrade your layout. These are smart options no matter the size of your collection. You can see the boxes for these points right here, 7859, 7858 under the signal box. And then now, a very important set in any 12 volt layout, the 7860 remote controlled signal 12 volt allows you to remotely stop and start a train using two rails that isolate a section of track. It also includes a signal post with a red and green light. If you're interested about how it works, check out my sealed opening and review shown as a banner. You'll probably need at least one of these if you intend to run 2 or more trains with a single transformer. This set usually sells for around $70. Like the 7858 and 7859, I would very highly recommend purchasing at least one of these for your layout. The 7861 lighting set electric 12 volt includes some key parts for adding light to your locomotives and coaches, including light bricks, cables, and light prisms. It's fairly cheap, typically selling for around $35. I'd recommend this if you own a train that can easily be upgraded with lights. 7725, 7730, 7740, and 7760 can all have lights installed with few modifications. 7863 remote controlled point motor includes parts to upgrade one manual point from 7856 into a remote controlled point. The set usually sells for around $30. If you already have 7856 and want to upgrade your points into remote controlled points, you should pick up at least one copy of this set. I already went over the 7864 transformer / controller 12 volt in the first part of this series, so check that out if you want to know more about it. This set is the heart of a 12 volt layout since it includes a transformer part and it sells for around $20. This video assumes that you already have a copy of this set, so there's no need to get another unless you want multiple electrically separate loops. I also went over the 7865 12 volt motor in the second part of this series. It includes a motor with middle wheels and some supporting parts, and most listings are around $70. If you want to upgrade a 4.5 volt train or build your own 12 volt train, this is a good option, but I would recommend a supplemental engine instead if you're looking to expand your layout. In 1981, along with the 7725 electric passenger train, 7862 remote-controlled decoupling was released. This unique set includes a special track section which, when connected to the transformer through a wire and remote, allows you to remotely uncouple wagons from each other. If you're interested in learning more about this set, check out the sealed opening and review shown as a banner. It typically sells for around $100. This is a great option if you want to expand a shunting yard, since the 12 volt system allows for remote-controlled shunting. In 1983, a new station was released, again creatively named Train Station, Railway Station. Unlike the previous station, this set only has a single platform on the side, but the station itself is larger. It sells for about $100, the same as the first station. I'd recommend this set if you have a passenger train, but personally I like the 7822 a little bit better. The first of the freight loading depots, the 7838 freight loading depot with wagon, includes a section of track with a movable crane and a small station along with a goods wagon. It sells for around $100, and it's a great addition to a layout with a freight train on it. Next up is a unique set, the 7866 remote-controlled road crossing. This set is the only remotely operated level crossing that LEGO has ever produced, and is also the only one with 2 tracks. It is the last of the remotely operated accessories, and when plugged into the transformer can have its barriers raised and lowered, and flashing lights activated. If you're curious about this set, you can check out the video shown as a banner. It usually sells for around $200. If you like level crossings, this is definitely the one for you. In my opinion, it's the best level crossing ever produced by LEGO. This set I have here in the bottom left of the screen. I don't have the box for it, but I do have the instructions. Another small set was released in 1983, the 7867 12 volt train light posts. This set includes 4 electric light posts, which are meant to be plugged into the accessory output of the transformer at the end of your remotes. It sells for around $30 and is a great addition to your 12 volt layout, especially if you have a station. The 7835 manual road crossing has the same name as the 1980 crossing 7834, and it's very similar. It has 2 tracks on a road base plate in addition to a small signal post. Actually, I should clarify, it's 2 track segments long, not there's 2 tracks next to each other. It sells for around $50 and can be looked at the same as the 7834. Personally, I like the 7834 a little bit more. Released in 1986, second to last is the 7823 container crane depot. It's another freight loading depot similar to the 7838. It includes 2 12 volt track segments on a road base plate, and there's also a large crane which can slide to deposit containers on the included goods wagon or small truck. This set usually sells for around $120. It's an excellent addition to any freight train and can benefit from a 7862. Last up is the 7839 car transport depot. This is also a freight loading depot, and like the other 2, includes a goods wagon, 2 sections of track, and a base plate. For this set, the base plate has 2 ramps which lead to a platform that slides out, and you can drive the included car from the platform onto the flatbed wagon. This set usually sells for around $100, and like the other depots, it is a great addition if you have a freight train. Alright, now that I've explained all of the supplemental accessory and trackside sets, I'll give my opinion on which to buy. Again, this video assumes that you only have a train, transformer, and at least a circle of track. The first and most important thing I would recommend is the remote-controlled point sets, 7858 and 7859, plus the signal set, 7860. My first purchase of accessories was 2 signals and 2 points. If you're planning on eventually getting another train, 2 signals would be smart. The points allow so many more possibilities for layouts, so I would recommend getting at least one of each remotely operated point. These 3 sets, 7858, 7859, and 7860, are what enable large layouts to be built and really give the user the full 12 volt experience. I would recommend getting these before thinking about other supplemental sets. Beyond that, I think the rest of the sets depend on which train you own. If you have a passenger train such as the 7725 or 7740, it would be a good choice to get a station. Which one you get depends on preference and availability, but personally I like the 7822 because of its dual platforms and overhead bridge. If you have a freight train like the 7730 or 7735, a freight loading depot is a good addition to your layout. Again, it comes down to preference and availability, but I like the 7823 best because of the large crane and danger stickers. There are also some sets that can be integrated into really any layout. Level crossings are universally a good addition, and my pick of the 3 is 7866 because of its remote control function. Overall, any of the listed sets would be a fine addition to your layout, but the bottom line is to get points in at least 1 signal first. I think that brings me to the end of this video. This is the 4th part of the series, and right now it's looking like I will do 2 more parts. Subscribe to stay updated because I've got more content planned soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.